Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. Thanks so much for joining me. Jessica McGovern, international multi-award winning pet photographer and also portrait photographer and photographer of other stuff as well. And today it is that time of the month, not that time, it is challenge review time. I crack myself up sometimes. So if you're new here, every single month we basically do a monthly challenge where you guys can go ahead and shoot to the challenge topic and then submit your images in the form of Instagram posts, which we then collate at the end of the month for anything that has correctly entered based on the guidelines, which are always in last month's blog post. The reason why I'm stressing this is basically there was quite a lot of entries this month, apparently, that did not conform to the rules and therefore will not be seen on the screen right now. So if your image is on this screen, congratulations, you've entered the challenge correctly and therefore we have collected your entries. Please don't send me angry DMs about why your images aren't in this list. It makes doing the challenges actually a lot less enjoyable if we get kickback for things that realistically aren't our fault. So with that said and done, sometimes, you know, you've got to be firm, and this is one of those times. We have got everything from September's challenge because, of course, it is now October, which is slightly terrifying because we've been doing this for so many years now that we've actually gone through a few different Septembers, but this time it was different. This September's challenge was all about human. The topic was human. You're human. The person in the picture or people had to be the main subject, or at least one of the main subjects in the image. They couldn't be an afterthought. They couldn't be a leg popping through from the side of the frame. They had to be a major part. Now, as always with these challenges, at the end of the video, we'll release the next month's challenge topic. You can, if you want to, skip ahead to that point, but I would recommend that you don't, because you may well learn something through the course of this video when we go through the challenge entries and pick a pin winner. Right, you might learn something that might help you do better in this next month's challenge. And of course, it's October, so we're looking at the October challenge. Like always, we can't go through everybody's entry in a huge amount of detail, so we've gone through the previous group method to collate entries into convenient little sections that all have a similar theme, trend, or topic that might need some additional work. I have lost my sticky note, which had my traditional list of colours, so I've made up some new colours and we're just going to have to go through those. So on the screen right now is everybody's entries. Like I said, anybody that correctly entered will be on this screen here. We've got a lot of people. You guys, I'm so proud of you for actively participating in this challenge, especially those of you who don't or very rarely photograph humans, because it's kind of a new thing. We do have human related resources on this channel and also inside of the premium membership, so those kind of resources are available, but we're going to be sharing some potentially new things throughout the course of running through these entries. I have seen these images for the first time as I was grouping them about half an hour ago. Okay, so I didn't collate the entries. This is the first time I'm seeing them. I've got no idea whose anybody's is, apart from some that I recognize in terms of the subjects from either the premium membership or from Instagram, or of course some of them have got watermarks on it, so obviously I can identify them in that way. But other than that, I don't know whose any of these are. I think on the outset that you've all done a really good job, so double thumbs up from me. Moving into the groups, well, where should we even start? Let's start in red group, okay? Traditionally, red group was something that doesn't conform with the challenge topic, but because I no longer collate these all up together and have to sort that out afterwards, I don't even see anything that doesn't conform to the challenge rules. So what we have in here in my new red group, newly formed, newly labeled, are some really good pictures. All of these pictures this month are really good. But red group is, I've kind of deemed it as more of a technical thing. So there's a technical thing happening that we might need some work to look at. And there is one in this group that kind of isn't technical. Do you know what? I'm just going to go through them. Okay, so the first one that I want to go through, because it's one of my favorites of the entire challenge, is this shot. I love this shot. I think it's got loads and loads of impact. I like the light in it. I think that it's really well shot in terms of the narrative that the photographer wanted to portray. However, However, there are some areas, specifically this section right here and on the nose. The nose itself, there is a blown highlight on there, and then these areas up here are really, really hot. So what could the photographer have done in this instance? Well, realistically, what the photographer could have done to both handle these areas of clipped highlights, but also the hot spots on the human skin, is just to bring down the highlights on the original raw file or slightly underexposed in camera, which would have given them that extra dynamic range. So that's what we were looking for realistically with this picture. Now, this one is something that I want to pick up on because creatively and conceptually, it's actually a really well done image. I like the theme of it. My issue with this is, again, just some really hot highlights on the little cat's pawsies, but also the fact that the cat does not have any eyes. There are no eyes left remaining in the cat, apart from these catch lights, and that for me was really distracting. So I'm unsure if it was a conscious editing step or whether it was technically not shot great. Maybe that it is just a reflection of something in the immediate environment, but for me that does detract from the overall success of the image, even though the concept itself is really good. And good separation from the background, by the way, must add that. So moving along, we've got a couple in here like this one, for example, blown highlight on the lamp, but also I question whether the lamp is even required, because really this is the story, not the lamp. The lamp's not really adding to anything, so it really depends on the photographer's own interpretation. But for me, the lamp is really bright, my eyes getting drawn left, left, left all the time, and really I want to be focusing on the fact that there is a human being in the music box. But I think it's a creative concept. This one up here, if we were to go through it, the focus is definitely on the subject. Obviously, we can see that the human's fallen off. There's a little bit of everything happening in here. I'd like posing wise, the ear not to intersect with the human's nose, but because this was the human challenge, really, we did need there to be a major focus on the human. This one is shot in really, really harsh light. Technically, it's not brilliant because of the lighting that's been used, but also the light is balanced to the lit side, which technically would be warmer, throwing the shadow side into blue, into shade, when really I think the moment was supposed to be quite warm. So there's just a lot of colors happening in here and it's quite harsh light. Okay, so I'm not going to go through every picture in every group. We'll move on to yellow group. Yellow group, I am actually going to go through most because most of it is to do with human posing stuff. And so I feel like this is probably one of, if not the most educational groups that we're going to go through in this challenge, because we don't usually go into things in this much detail. This one, for this couple here, I think the couple looks super happy. Difficult lighting situation, midday sun, harsh light. It is what it is. You can't pick your wedding day based on its weather. Like, you just can't. Mine was raining. In this one, we have an Apple Watch straight up on the top of the hand there. Always, 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 if you're doing couple shots, just remove the watches. Just take them off unless there's a huge sentimental value in them, in which case leave them on. They usually just don't add to the shot. And it really grabs my attention that, but it's actually the man's hands. The hands are fine in terms of their placement, but the fingers are really quite spaced out, and it would have been more relaxed had he had more relaxed hands. Not feminine, but more relaxed, and feminine if he wants to. I mean, who am I to judge? This one, the hand, it doesn't really have a reason to be there, so it really kind of shouldn't be there. It's not telling a story. She looks amazing. If her hand was in her pocket, or if you need something to do with that hand and she has a scarf on, have her just put her hand through the scarf. That would have been a much better composition overall than having this hand up here for no reason. There's no reason in that. Other than that, this is really, really well shot, to be honest. The natural frame is gorgeous. The skin tones is amazing. It's just the posing, just the posing. Whoever photographed this, really great work. This one, gorgeous pair of horses here, and the owner who looks super relaxed. I'm here for that. I like it. She looks like she's training. She's got like a bag on there, but she's just got her hands in front of her and she's got two amazing horses here, and there is no connection. So this goes back to, I'll link a video to it above about tips for photographing pets with people. You need realistically, ideally, 2 points of connection, and in this shot we've got 0 points of connection. So if the photographer had 2 points of connection in here, this image would be way up the stack, way up the stack. So it's all to do with that interaction between the two. As it stands, she's just stood there against the horses. Her hands are relaxed, which is great, but there's no interaction there. This one is a really, really, really good shot. Okay, this is actually a really good shot. Great color coordination, matchy, going 10 out of 10 here. It's nice that we have the riding hat in the shot, and the way that it's constructed, I really like. I'd like a little bit less space on the left if I'm being super picky. Because the horse is out of focus, crop into them a little bit more to really throw the attention at the subject, but we're getting too deep into it. The main thing about this is the eyes. So the eyes on the human here are looking off quite intently to one side, okay? The light on the face is good, but the eyes are looking quite intently off to one side. I'm going to try and do this, but I can't actually see myself, so I don't know how well it's going to go. If I'm looking completely off to one side with my head quite straight, you'll see a huge portion of my eye that's like whites of the eyes. Does that make sense? So the whites of my eyes are huge, and that leads the human often to look kind of concerned or worried. It's not a flattering position of an eyeball. I know we're getting into specifics, but hopefully that's what these challenge topics do. They teach you to be better with your technical detail of the full piece of the image itself. So this one I ummed and ahed with for a long time because actually I think it's a really, really gorgeous shot. This one is a classic situation of if the hair is going to fall over the face, put the hair behind the ear closest to the camera and you'll see the expression, and also the light will hit the subject's face better. So this one I do in general really, really like. I like the moment, the interaction. I just feel like the angle of shot and how low the horse's head is into her lap means that we can't see a lot of that interaction moment happening. I'd love for her to be almost looking up slightly so that the light falls on her face a little bit better. Does that make any sense? This one is such a great shot technically in all other areas. I wanted to be harsh on this one. First of all, we've got a hot spot on the shoulder, which doesn't help, but actually it's the placement of the arm that's holding the puppy up. The elbow is coming out kind of like this, straight towards the camera here. And really we needed that to just come down. Otherwise it makes this bit of the arm look really short and kind of awkward because she's got her elbow up. It's difficult when you're holding an animal. I get that, I really do. But efforts realistically should have been or could have been made to make this a more pleasing image with that shoulder just dropping slightly. Even if she retains her arm at that kind of like a height, but instead of having the shoulder kind of up and crunched inwards, she rotates the shoulder downwards. That in itself would create a more pleasing image than having it like that. Does that make any sense? Okay, so then we go back to the beginning. So that's me being super picky on posing, but that's what this challenge is here for. So hopefully that was useful. I'm not going to delve into green group too much, but last week's YouTube video hopefully is helpful. If you're in green group, you're in green group because there's an editing or a retouching situation happening. So this one, we've got cloning, repetition, duplication happening over here. There was a video about that last week. Please go ahead and have a look at that. Everybody, if you watch this, watch that please, because it is the most frequent thing. So we've got this flower is also here, which is also here. This one is here. We've got a wall that's one color, and then here it's another color, and you can see the kind of fuzzy line around the back. Same thing's happening, just clean up. In all fairness, I really do like the concept. I think keep going with the concept. This one here, I'm being super picky, but I am almost 110% sure that this and that is the same as this and that. And therefore this, and this are also cloning repetition. So same thing as last time, super picky, I can't help it, it's in my nature. This one and this one, both about half a stop underexposed, need a little bit more light going in there. This one, retouching again, but this time it's the straight line. So there's a straight line coming through the tree, and my brain says it shouldn't be there. I don't know if it naturally was there. This is a really nice picture. Otherwise, I'd have liked a bit less of a push up on the chin. You probably weren't, or the subject probably wasn't pushing up on the chin. You want to make it look effortless and relaxed, and obviously no force, no pain, none of that. They're probably 99% sure there wasn't any of that in here, but if you have less of a like scoop up the neck, you will achieve more of a natural finish. This one is a little bit blue. I get we're using blue hour, I like it, but there's quite a lot of green and blue on the dogs. This one, again, we've got two sliders trick happening, blue doggo with natural soft light coming in from above. So we want to come to the point where we end up pretty much multicolored, and we end up here, which is the difference before and after. And that is green group whizzing along into blue group. Blue group compositional. Most of these are just a little bit too tight. Some of them it's limbs coming off, and some of them it's just the space isn't really where it ought to be. This one, there's too much space above and not enough space below here. The dog's looking straight at us. She's looking at the dog. This space doesn't need to exist. This one is gorgeous moment. We don't need so much space on the bottom. Could have had more space on the top if you want to retain the aspect ratio. This one, the hand's chopped off right through the middle of the hand. Not great for composition. This one is just too tight on the bottom. Need a little bit more room for her to stand. This one is a little bit too tight all around. Same with this one. This one, they're looking, well, the horse is looking quite clearly left. She's looking down, which gives us space requirements for the left. And this one is the only one that doesn't quite fit. I love the concept of it. I'm just drawn to the hoof. I'd have loved this to actually be in a different crop ratio, maybe vertical, and have a little bit more of the horse's head above. So we'd have centered our eyes straight on that little bit of the muzzle. This one is just a little bit too tight, and so on and so forth. Composition, stuff. Oh my God, composition is absolutely life. I'll link a video, most recent one, to composition. Please go ahead and have a look at that one, because that will help, which takes us to purple group. Purple group is people who have got pretty much everything right, but I just wanted something a little bit more, or something's not quite, you know, going for it. And so this is purple group, small purple group this time, probably because I was too harsh in my other groups, but you know, Picky Patricia is why I'm here. This one, I love it. I just really would have loved a little bit more warmth coming through. It's such a slight tweak, but it would have just made the moment, in my opinion. This is actually really good isolation. A couple of little bits of burning happening from the white backlight. So the strength of the backlight is just a little bit too hot, or the subject's placed too close to it. I actually like the composition of this, so it's really good. The lighting on her is great. She looks adorable. I like it a lot. This one, I just needed a little bit more from the silhouette. It's a nice moment though. Genuinely, it really is a nice moment. This one, I like a lot. I just kind of wish it almost had like a little bit more of a shadow lift, so it's a bit of a lighter, brighter moment, and I'd have loved the dog to be interacting, as in eye contact, for that 2 points of connection. This one, actually, I think his face is so funny. I like this one a lot. It's almost slightly, very, very slightly overexposed, only just though, just because the skin a little bit hot for Caucasian skin. We're moving up into like 93 territory on the percentage here of brightness. This is just a tiny little bit hot. I like it though. I think it's cute. I'd have loved a little bit more space around the edge, just a touch, which I know is really, really difficult, but it's a nice moment. I'd have also liked a little tiny bit more of a smile on Mum's face. So that's purple group, which then technically leaves us with everything that's not in a group, which is here. So this is the shortlist, right? This is the shortlist. This is some really, really great shots. So this is your time to go ahead and pick your winners of the pins. So we've got to distribute the gold pin, the silver pin, and the bronze pin. Who is going to get that? So you've got top row left to right, and bottom row left to right. Let's go ahead and have a look at these all individually. I like this. I like the feel of it. I like the light on it. He's short lit, which is fine. I'm here for it. It doesn't bother me. There's no blown highlights in this. I can still see the shadow detail and the expression. It looks like he's sat in the barn, and I like it. I think it's a good shot. This one lit the kind of the opposite way almost. Harsher light, definitely in a workshop, doing some work. I like it. I feel like it's not quite strong enough, but I like the moment that we've got. I think you could have done a tighter crop and been successful, but you know, there we go. I also love the fact that we have this roll in the background. It kind of reminds me of Blue Roll from Work Life, but there we go. This one I think is a cute moment. I'm less keen on the hand clenched. It doesn't work quite so well for me, but I do really, really like it. This one is really, really well shot. So split lighting. It's actually 3 different lights happening here. So we've got the pink one at this side, the pink one at this side, and the blue isolation from the front, along with the blue background. And actually it's been really, really well done. Would I have absolutely loved a brighter catchlight inside? Yeah, but then it would have sort of flattened the lighting. So I'm kind of here for it. This brighter spot on the cheek, I love it less so, but actually this is really well shot, and the movement in the hair helps as well. Her pose is great. This is gorgeous natural light. It's gorgeous natural light. Is there slightly too much space above? Probably yes. But also I kind of feel like it works with the puppy reaching upwards, so I'm here for it. This is a nice moment. It just is. It's just a nice moment. Nice moment, nice location. Would I have preferred this orange strip not to come through the head? Yes, but am I being really, really picky now? Also yes. This is sweet. I think this is nice. I'd have loved to touch more magenta. It's very slightly green. I have a feeling that something was taken out of here, but apart from guesstimating repetition, I can't wholeheartedly, hand on heart, say that something is a duplication of something else, and therefore I will give the benefit of the doubt. This is gorgeous. This is actually really well shot, really well controlled. Gorgeous portrait. It just is a gorgeous portrait. Could we have taken maybe a tiny bit of space off the left? Yes. Is it working at the detriment of the image? No, so it's fine. This is actually really well controlled, really well shot. Crop's quite tight. but I'm here for it because everything is happening in this inner section, lots of points of connection. The watch isn't great, but the fact that it is color coordinated with everything else that we have actually at play in the shot means that it still works and it still is happy to sit here, and I'm happy for it to sit here. So this is kind of a difference because the watch is almost adding to the story of who she is rather than detracting from the situation and the scene and the pose. So this is sweet. Would I have loved a catchlight in that eye? Yes. This one, for me personally, my main thing would be this large bank of open light at this side is just a little bit too strong, but I like it regardless. Big watch on this one, I think it's okay. In general, for me, other people might have differing opinions, that's fine. I'd have loved the hands, the fingers to just sit together a little bit more. That would have been really, really good. That's the shortlist. I have gone through and picked my shortlist, which are these guys. So from here, I need to pick a winner, which is going to be pretty tough. So the aim of this was human, right? We've got loads of different light styles happening here. We've got natural light, we've got artificial light, we've got pets and people. Our pets and people are looking adorable. There's a few things that I would probably maybe do differently if it was me, but this isn't about me. This is about you guys. So I love the cowboy and I'm vibing with it, but I think this is just really well controlled. And the girls with their animals are also really, any of these could win if we're being honest. I'm going to take that one out just because of what I said about the orange light above, which leaves me here. So, you've definitely not made it easy for me this month. And I think you've all just done so very well. Do you know what? I'm going to go with... Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to go with some difference, okay? So we're going to go gold, silver, and bronze. But realistically, any of you guys could have got gold straight away. So that's just me saying, because I have to pick. But I love the intensity of this. It hits me. If we were to look at all of the entries again, that really does stand out to me as a standout shot in terms of what's eye-catching for me. And I think it deserves it. And so that's that. So let's go ahead and see who these people are. Okie doke, so we've got gold of Christian, silver for Renata. Did Renata win silver last month? I really feel like she did. Nailing it. And then bronze for Elizabeth. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. Boudreaux? Is that a thing? I don't know. Elizabeth. It's Elizabeth. Oh my goodness, I can't even read. I'm so sorry, Elizabeth. Elizabeth Boudreaux. Pets, maybe. Please tell me if that's pronounced right. I do apologise if it's not. So gold, silver and bronze. Congratulations, huge congratulations. But it's time to look at next month's challenge. So it is October. The October's challenge topic is, drumroll please. I didn't realise you were listening to me. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Dan. Okay, Dan gave you the drum roll. The topic for October is white. Yeah, you heard me right, okay? The topic is white. You have to photograph something white, okay? It can't realistically be golden Labrador, okay? It has to be white. There has to be elements of basically the subject is white. It does not have to be a dog. It doesn't have to be a horse. It doesn't have to even be a human. It doesn't really matter. As long as the object within the scene that you are photographing as the main subject is white, then you can have a ball. It could even be snow. I mean, if you have snow where you live. So October's challenge is white. Please check the blog post below for all of the entry steps, criteria, and a little bit more information about white in general. I will be checking your entries at the end of the month, last day of the month, collate them for the challenge review on the first Friday of the next month, unless the first Friday is way too close, which I don't know if it is or not. And we will be sat right back here for another monthly challenge. Please congratulate the winners of the pins this month because they put themselves out here already to enter the challenges. If you don't enter the challenges, realistically, you can't say nasty stuff because you can't and you shouldn't anyway, because why would you not be a nice person? And that's it from me. So see you next week for another 5-Minute Friday. Hopefully this was useful for you. If it was, tell me in the comments, and I'll see you guys really, really soon.